Hello. We're Having a Stroke, a podcast where a guy with severe ADHD struggles to get through a single sentence while the other one masturbates with a scrub. What? I'm your co-host Dominic. With me is my co-host Joey. I really messed that up. Holy shit. I meant to say, like, I forgot the name for the pad that's like on the back of a sponge. There's a name for it. Scotch Brite, I guess is the name for it. I don't remember.
You start the whole fucking like I like how you started.
That was, by the way, like that was the least. That was like the most confident I've been into an intro in a long time, and I completely fucked up on the punchline, and I was just like, "What? What did I just say?" Like,
hi, we're having a stroke. Yeah. What?
There's your first stroke of the day. I'm your co-host Dominic. With me is my co-host Joey, and we are on episode
whatever the
33. I think
33.
Yeah, 33.
I think so. I don't know. I haven't had time to edit the last episode that much because I've this week been doing my internship, which makes me realize, oh God, I need to clean up what I say on here.
Oh, now you realize that. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm glad you recognize that.
You
want to talk about just fucking in general?
No. Stop. You make me have a nightmare. I'm literally working in HR.
Wait, what? I thought you were editing for shit. How are you in HR right now?
Well, it's like, okay, so I'm not gonna, okay, as I've said before, I'm not gonna say where I work.
No, of course not.
But I will say that I work in a department of a business that works in diversity and inclusion and
equity,
that kind of stuff in the workspace. Yeah. And what I'm really doing is editing videos for that program.
Okay.
And technically it falls under HR. So when you look at my account in the business website and everything, or in their database, it says I work in HR.
Oh, I see. Oh wait.
So basically,
excuse
God.
me. Sorry.
But yeah, I've been going there, and I'm working there full time. I worked there full time this week.
Nice.
And
man.
It's been awesome. I actually have some funny stories from that. The first one being that so when I met my boss, they are a very lovely person, and I obviously will not say names because again, I don't want to give too much away, but I went to a meeting they had of their program and everything, and I was kind of sitting in the corner in the beginning, and they came up to me and said, hey, Joey, I think you should go join one of the tables, get in on the conversation, so get in one of the conversations so baby's not sitting in the corner. And I was like,
what a reference.
Okay, first day here and I'm being called baby. And they were like, oh, wait, no, that's not what I meant. I meant it's a Dirty Dancing reference. And I didn't get it.
That's an old person's joke. I'm surprised.
My boss doesn't look that old, okay?
That's fair.
At least they don't seem that old. And I know they have a family and everything. And
fucking you old
actually shut up. I like them a lot.
I know. I kid.
And
baby.
The cool thing is that I kind of relate to my boss a lot because they are on the neurodivergent spectrum, and I told them that I'm also on that. Again, not giving away too much of what exactly it is, because that's personal, and I don't want to go around saying what people's stuff is.
Right.
But I will say the funniest thing was that so when I applied for the job, there was that list of medical things that asking if you had any of these, if you were autistic or have a record of depression or
If you contracted ligma, you know,
or anything like that. Yes, I'm no selling your joke because fuck you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah. Like when I told them, yeah, I have ADHD, they immediately said, oh, "Okay, cool. What was your school experience like?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah, it happened. I
Yeah.
can tell you it happened. Yeah, that's
but yeah, I'm enjoying my time there at the business,
the big business.
the big business.
Hell yeah, you're big chillin'.
I work in the sky.
Yeah, you do.
I take an airplane to my job, and I work in the sky.
You're up a couple floors, so yeah, you are technically in the sky. I
Yeah,
guess.
a couple floors in the sky.
Hell yeah. I'm glad you're having fun, Joey.
I'm not gonna put this up, but you can imagine just like I will put a picture of my view up from the sky, and it's like a picture from an airplane.
No, I just imagine it's like a picture of like a rendering of heaven, you know? Like, it's
Or,
just
or like a painting of Jesus or something.
yeah, POV my desk, and it's just the clouds. Dude, I could see that in some like inspirational like Instagram girl post, you know?
A white woman's Instagram.
White woman. Fucking shouts to Bo. Shouts to Spider in the corner. Hanging in the corner, super fucking normal. I ain't afraid of no spiders.
Yeah.
Banging album.
Speaking
Now-
of albums,
I was about to say, I was literally about to make the same joke. Could I start with something really quick?
yes, please do.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an actual topic that we have both focused
Agreed
on
upon.
for this episode. But before we go on to that, there's obviously some stuff that I wanted to get into. I got it off my chest. Dominic, would you like to go into anything else?
Yes. The weather has been super normal. But
Fuck!
I know. I literally have nothing to report.
I walked right into that one.
But I will say, something that recently happened in my apartment. Someone left a 4-pack of Red Bull, like in a communal.
Oh, no.
No, okay.
Oh, no.
Okay, hold on. The 4-pack was on the mail.
Is this episode going to be called Dominic's Taking the Juice?
Well, now it is. Like I can't. That can't not be the title now. I took one of the juice. I'm assuming they were just some person just left it out on the main mailroom table in our apartment, and I just took one for the road because I was like, fuck it. It's been in my fridge for about a week and a half, and I checked. I was just like looking through my fridge, like getting some water, and I looked on the side of the can, and I recognized the logo in like the world's smallest font.
Okay.
Joey,
What?
did you know that the cans for Red Bull are made by the company that makes mason jars?
What?
It's made by the Ball Company.
The balls?
The Ball Company. In like the
Ball
smallest
Company.
logo. I caught a glimpse of that and I was like, that's very bizarre. I know Red Bull is like a weird company and they outsource a lot of their stuff. I wonder if that's actually made by Ball. And apparently, like almost a year ago, they fucking, like, the Mason Jar Company fucking expanded their processing plant, including aluminum can production, including their client Red Bull.
Really?
So your grandma is out there going, I need to have me some mason jars. I'm gonna make them faster with this old energy drink. It's just going nuts, making fucking mason jars in a company factory.
Ultimate Warrior. Hulk Hogan.
Grandma ain't so small and tiny anymore. Just fucking
Grandma's gonna German suplex you into next week.
I can drive a Formula One car. Like, that's just what I was thinking of. Is just grandma's on Red Bull.
Grandma's forklift certified.
Grandma's going back to college. So, I don't know. I saw that in my fridge today, and I was just like... I literally was just having the thought of, like... Just like, why in the fuck does this giant corporation that sells mason jars also make the cans for Red Bull? So I just saw that
it's either that It's either like the grandma's talking about Red Bull just nonchalantly, or the grandma plays a lot of Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
This cross-up is going to be sick.
I'm going to force stock your ass. I'm on TSM.
Oh God, the Smash Brothers player using Smash terms to talk about fucking Street Fighter.
Oh my god, the fucking FGC dude talking about no pussy. Oh, got him. Sorry. What were we going to talk about today, Joey?
I do remember there was a quick side note. I do remember there was one time when I was showing you, like a Guilty Gear clip.
Yeah.
And like somebody got perfected, and then you just said, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with it," but I was just like, "Oh God." I like somebody got like perfected, and you just said, "Oh, dude, they got 0 to death," and I was like, "Oh God, oh no."
It was 0 to death though. Not a single hit.
You don't call it that. It's fucking whatever. Anyway,
Joey, there's a million ways I can say "fuck your mother," and you'd get the point, right? Like, there's 500 ways I could say that. Like, get bent.
Oh, man.
Your mom's a whore. There's a lot of ways I could say that.
Here's double your money. Get the fuck out. I've been watching a lot of like old wrestling clips, and they're the fucking best.
Oh yeah, for sure.
like I don't know. Like there was a whole clip of like these two guys in the ring, Bryan Danielson and El Generico in Ring of Honor, like going up to each other, and like they're having a match, and it starts with them shaking hands because they're both faces.
Yeah,
Face me's a good guy. And then like El Generico goes in and hugs him, and then they like back up a bit, and the crowd starts chanting, "Hug him back! Hug him back! Hug him back!" And then like Bryan Danielson like doesn't do it and like keeps walking around, and then like he shoves El Generico, and El Generico's like sad about it.
Aww.
And then the crowd starts chanting, "Say you're sorry! Say you're sorry!"
Bro. Even if you're not friendly, just give him a hug, man.
And then it gets quiet, and he's about to do it, and then like one fan just like yells out, "On your knees!" And then the whole audience like, "On your knees!" It's a fucking event.
Yeah,
God.
no kidding.
And let's get back onto what we're gonna do.
I was about to say, I think you reached the point of the podcast right there. That was incredible.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
Speaking of the point, also...
Boy, did I miss
no, wait.
it.
This episode of We're Having a Stroke is brought to you by We're Having a Shoot. We're Having a Shoot. It's on every once in a while. Did you guys record some episodes recently?
So funny story about that. I remember we said that we'll record it, and then Chris and I both did the ADHD thing of forgetting about it. So I gotta text him and say, "Hey, when are we gonna record shoot?"
And then...
Dude, so much happened this week that it's gonna be like 3 hours.
Oh, great. It's gonna be...
Because like
we can do a
so
two-parter.
We can, but like there's so much fucking... Because like CM Punk is now back, and now like there's drama.
Oh, what?
Like backstage drama.
Excuse me.
Because he's like kind of being a dick backstage. And like, I don't know. Like,
There's stuff to talk about. Speaking of stuff to talk about.
This is the episode where we talk about everything but the topic we're going to talk about.
This is the effect of the juice.
Okay. Let's get into it.
Yes.
So, after our last recording, that was episode 32. Yeah. Dominic and I were randomly just looking on the internet and stumbled upon... So, like, it's no, like... We stumbled upon an album. And it's no secret that Dominic and I are we're big fans of Ren and Stimpy. Dominic's more of a big fan. I'm like I like it. I just need to watch more of it. But anyway, we stumbled upon an album entitled. What was the title? Fuck.
This album. Oh yeah, this is where I can do my Anthony Fantano. Hi everyone, stroke-having person here with the internet's biggest music nerd, and today is going to be a review of this new album from Ren and Stimpy, Radio Days. This is the third
new album. This shit came out in 1995.
It did. And you know the funny part? This is the third one. As in, there were two more before this one. As in, it had enough success that they made two more before this.
I would like to note that one of the albums that they made is literally called You Idiot! Like, spelled with an E.
That's fucking awesome.
And like another one is like the album cover is like mocking like the Beatles.
Oh,
like,
nice.
Crosswalk thing.
Hell yeah, dude! I saw that in the description of like, oh, you know, this is the third album, and then I just literally like, there's a lot to be said about this.
I like how we both had the same reaction to learning that. Being like, wait, the third?
Yeah, as in there's more? So, I would like
to mention that before we get started, this has nothing to do with anything. I just figured I'd mention that I started listening to this album while in the drive-thru of a Culver's.
Oh,
and
no.
I was like, oh.
Oh, no.
It adds nothing to it. I just figured I'd mention it because it sounded funny.
No, I mean, it is funny. Now, I guess we kick it off. So,
I don't know what I expected going on.
I honestly didn't either.
But what I got was so out of left field and kind of like... it's okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure.
It starts with Ren. Fuck.
Good one. Take two.
It starts with Ren, right?
Yeah, it does.
It starts with Ren saying, "Gee," or like
that's Stimpy.
Gee, Ren, Stimpy. Fuck.
Good
God
one.
damn it.
Stimpy is the cat. Ren is the dog.
I am an idiot. Stimpy's the cat, right?
Yes, red cat.
Okay, I'm a fake fan. Anyway.
Yeah, you are.
Bitch. So it starts with Stimpy, saying like something along the lines of, "Gee, Ren, mind if I turn on the radio while you listen to your paper?" Which, first of all, dates this immediately.
It's also crazy how he can listen to the paper. That's incredible.
Oh yeah, amazing. Like, wait, did I fuck it up?
Yeah, you said listen to the paper.
Oh, I meant listen to the radio.
It's fine. It's funny. Just keep going.
But immediately, I'm like, what the fuck? Is this a radio drama? Like, what?
Yeah, right.
And then, like, it just... Okay, it's weird because it starts, like, a fucking Ren and Stimpy episode.
Yeah.
Of, like, Ren's reading the paper, and Stimpy's listening to the radio.
Yeah.
And then they get a call. There's a thing on the radio. A guy saying, if you're the fifth caller...
Yes.
You get the radio station for a day. And...
Then it goes into the first track.
Then Ren starts singing, and I realize, is this a musical? And it is!
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
This entire album is a radio drama musical about Ren and Stimpy getting a radio show. And everything that comes with it.
It's more of
I'd say
it's a comedy album than it is a radio drama.
It is, but it reminded me a lot of radio dramas.
I see.
Cause like in the in between bits of like there's sound effects. Like there's one bit spoilers, I guess. When Ren and Stimpy are like
album.
For an album that's like 30 years old.
Yeah, right.
Not even 20, 25. Anyway,
Bitch.
fuck. Don't ask me to do numbers.
You can't count the episodes. You can't count the years.
I can't. You expect me to know this?
Who the fuck are you?
Who the? Excuse me.
Excuse me, sir.
But no, like it reminded me of a radio drama because of like, the sound effects in between like, the songs, and like the way that the characters are just speaking. It reminded me a lot of a radio drama, and I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah. And,
any thoughts? Any thoughts from? So this first song.
Yes.
I need to pull up the track list.
I Wanna Be a DJ is track number 1.
I Wanna Be a DJ.
And
my
first note, because I wrote notes, is God, the 90s on Broadway. I heard the first track and I was like, oh, this is the album. Oh. And so like I will say, when it comes to listening to this album, I like how, like, in the very beginning, I was kind of regretting it, just like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to listen to. I'm gonna sit it's here. Like, it's like 7 in the morning. Like, I'm waking up and I'm like getting ready for like my work stuff.
You listen to this in 7 in the morning.
Yeah, I know. It was very early in the morning when I started listening to this, and I was like, God, this is a terrible way to start my day. And
just showering while like Ren and like Stimpy saying, Stimpy, you're genius.
Yeah. Caller number 5. Yeah, and straight up like, I the singing is tough to listen to. Is another note I wrote.
Here's my thoughts on it.
Mm.
I thought Stimpy was like somewhat passable, as in terms of singing. Ren is like awful.
It's so quiet in every mix, and it's like,
yeah,
I know. Like, I get it's like part of it is sort of like, well, the characters aren't really designed to sing like at all.
Yeah, no.
So it's just kind of funny listening to them do that, and I feel like that's a problem with a lot of like cartoon albums that are similar in nature. Like there's a this is a old family joke where we bought this Flintstones Christmas CD a long time ago. It is horrendous. If you want a truly terrible like comedy cartoon CD, Flintstones Christmas, I think it's like from the early 2000s, the 90s. Like it's bad. It's really, really bad. Like, it's about as bad.
I will also note that I looked it up, and there is a Ren and Stimpy Christmas album as well.
Well, when Christmas rolls around, we'll get to that. But for now, we got this to take care of.
So, what were your thoughts overall on song 1, Ren saying, I want to be a DJ?
It sets the tone for what the whole album is. It's not horrendous. But, man, I really wasn't expecting that. I don't know. I wasn't sure what I expected, but it wasn't that.
The weird thing is that I will say this. The instrument, like, production and, like, values... is unexpectedly really good.
Oh, yeah. And again, this is the thing. It's brought up by Nickelodeon. They have access to a studio, right? They have access to a band, so... They were just sort of like, all right, we recorded music for this thing. All right, well, we got this album to record. You guys want to be on it? Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's just the story.
It's just like we got this show with a cat and a dog that like punch each other. You wanna do a sick ass saxophone solo?
Yeah, I was about to say like this on multiple tracks. You hear guitar, saxophone, and like piano solos. And they are going off.
They are fucking going off to the point where I forget what it is. Like there was a song. There's a song later in the album. It's a song where like they're in jail, or like
track 7 number. It's called Hard Time.
Called like Hard Time, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was listening to it, and I was like, dude, this could have been like an Attitude Era wrestler entrance. Like,
Yeah, no kidding, right?
like straight up. Like,
Yeah. It's crazy. So, because this is a comedy album, and of course it's reminiscent of a radio drama. This thing has a plot, and it starts off with like, this radio, and Ren's like, Ren and Stimpy are like, sorry.
The plot of the album is
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so what happens is that after track 1, Stimpy's like, oh my god, I'm gonna call in, I'm so excited. And then track 2 is the DJ of this radio station.
And
track called Caller Number 5.
It's like a pure like jazz, like I'm suffering here song.
Yeah.
Like just
Some might call that the
100%
blues.
jazz. The blues, fuck. Yeah, it
But-
is blues. What the fuck am I saying? And
Sad
it's
jazz.
like, I thought that song was like pretty good in my opinion.
It wasn't bad. I will say, like, it was because obviously it's a more modern comparison, but I feel like maybe I feel like I'm about to make a bold claim. It's very reminiscent of Beetlejuice, like the Beetlejuice musical. And I was like, I kind of fuck with it, but at the same time, I'm
being dead thing.
yeah, it felt very similar. He's just
You
like, bro.
killed Han Solo.
I don't know. I was listening to that and I was just like, dude, this is like, again, the big claim I was thinking in my head was just sort of like, did the guy who was working the Beetlejuice musical ever listen to this album? And if he did he ever incorporate this music into the musical?
So like, I don't know if you know this about the Beetlejuice musical, but there's a beginning song called it's either, I forget the name of it exactly. It's either a show about death or the whole being dead thing. It's either one of those. And I don't know if they do it every show, but they mix up the lyrics in it in the beginning part to be about death and shit.
Yeah, right.
And like, I would love it if there was a line in there about like something Ren and Stimpy die.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Or something. Like,
Fucking,
Ren finally killed Stimpy.
yeah, you bumbling idiot. We wore nipples for this. Wore fucking rubber nipples on
My
there.
giant nipple.
It's my collection of nose goblins. Motherfucker flips over the coffee table, and you see, you've seen that bit, right?
I think I have.
Yeah, where he flips over the table, and you see all of his boogers on the underside. And he's like, "Look, it's my collection of nose goblins." It's just in the fucking play, bro. But I will say also another, obviously, the radio station sucks ass. Obviously, it has horrible range. There's only 6 records in the station, which is like, yikes. Like 6 records, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what actually came up in this song is that they have this like small like singing group like that does the transitions. And like
I
those
like them a lot.
those are really, really well done for some reason.
They're like, I okay. I don't know if I'd call them like, I would compare them to a barbershop quartet because
It's not for people.
that, and also aren't barbershop quartets like only like men most of the time?
Yeah, but there's a women's division too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And like, isn't it like all women in the Ren and Stimpy album, or is it like, I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter.
What?
I thought their vocals were very good.
Yeah, they're really good.
They were like,
Again, this
to
is
the point where I'm like, what the.
Again,
Again,
this is-
the production values of this entire album shocked me. 'Cause
It's
I'm
really
like, oh,
good.
it's a dumb Ren and Stimpy album from the 90s.
I have access to the best studio band like that they have for cartoons. Like fucking, yeah, they had it, and it's just what really lacks in the album is like the singing, and I suppose like
Okay,
the plot line
I
is
feel we should clarify
yeah,
the singing on most of the main characters.
yeah.
That's
Some of
kind
them
of
are
what we
good.
mean. Cause like off the top of my head, spoilers again. Why am I saying spoilers? Who the fuck cares? I'm such a fucking idiot. Who the hell cares about this dumb album?
Who gives a shit? Just gives up.
Chris O'Neill, cover your ears right now, but this is what...
I know, Harv. Watch out, buddy.
Harv, boy. But, I thought Stimpy was decent.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Powdered Toast Man, for the little bit he was in, was like, I liked him.
It was okay, yeah.
Oh my, okay. So
Yes.
let's go on a bit because I want to get to the Powdered Toast Man song.
Yeah, so after track 2, it's basically like, oh my god, I'm the radio DJ. Finally, I want somebody to call in to take my job. Whoever calls in, not even caller number 5, just someone call in. And then obviously Stimpy calls in, and he's like, holy fuck, I just won. And what happens is that then the dude is freed from his contract, because I think this is, like, it's obviously an exaggeration. It's a cartoon, but I feel like this happens kind of frequently, like actually in real life, like with old radio stations.
It sounds eerily like kind of realistic, and even on just radio, just in like maybe entertainment in general. Like
yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of like, oh fuck, this is a dead end. I need to get out of here. Oh god, someone's here to take my spot. You know. I don't know. It's funny.
Yeah,
but
it's funny like to hear the joy in his voice as he like runs out of
which is funny.
Wait, also side note, not side note, but like I love the detail of like Stimpy is like, Ren, we gotta go to the radio station now, and like Ren is like, Stimpy, it's either like so late at night, or he's like, it's so far away, we'll never get there. And Stimpy's just like, no, it's not. It's right outside our house in a trailer.
It's true. They live in a trailer. And they just fucking walk across and they're like, oh shit, there it is. And when they do take it, obviously there's a track number 3, King of the Airwaves.
So
which is like...
It starts with... So the initial dynamic is that Stimpy is really excited about hosting a radio show. And Ren is pessimistic and is like, I don't want to fucking do this shit.
Mm.
And then he realizes that, like, because like Ren likes power.
Yeah.
You know, he's like Virgil. He likes power.
What the fuck? That is like, wow, okay. Yeah, sure. They do whatever you want.
Can we get art of like Ren in like a Virgil outfit?
Yeah.
Can that be the thumbnail?
I'm gonna try, yeah. Because
I'll send you references.
We'll figure it out.
But and then I forget what exactly leads him to it.
But he realizes that he can be heard by a lot of people from this radio station. And it's, it's obviously egotistic, narcissistic kind of thinking from Ren. And he's just like, holy fuck, I have all the power. And then it turns into the song, which is Ren's first time singing. And my lord,
I am king of the airwaves.
It's like the least charming Louis Armstrong I've ever heard in my life. It's just so... It's unbearable. It's bad.
It's so like, this was my first like, I was like, oh geez. And again, like this is something that persists throughout the entire album.
Mm-hmm.
Like the production values and like the instrumentation of the like instruments and the music is good. It's pretty good. Like
yeah.
Like they're going off and shit. And then but the thing is like it's like
there's just the main components that are like that you notice are really noticeable. Like they're really noticeably bad.
It's like if there was a fucking like I like this is probably too high of a thing to say, but I'm gonna fucking say it. Okay. It's like there's a Picasso right in front of you, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's gorgeous, and you see it in the whole thing. And then directly in the middle of it, there's like a 2-foot circle of just shit. Like,
I thought you were about to say
and it's like you can admire the beauty of like the corners and stuff, but like
there's just shit everywhere.
Just shit. Shit in the middle.
Joey, I can appreciate a beautifully designed chair, but when it's covered in back sweat and like ass neck grease and just
And
like
feces.
yeah, and just piss and shit in the chair, I don't think I'm gonna appreciate that chair as much. All right, I will say. Now this is the
Of
thing.
the airwaves.
Yeah, I am the king. And after this, then there's a transition of like, oh fuck, it's been 6 months we've been in this trailer, and fucking yeah, nothing has gone on. And then we go on to track 4. Is anyone out there? And I gotta say, this track kinda slaps.
Remind me what track it is again.
Track number 4. So it's a track where
it's in the title. Like,
is anyone out there?
is anyone? I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's funny because it's like weirdly emotional, but it's like kind of not bad. Like the track in the background is actually pretty spacey and like gives the emotion pretty well. And the singing isn't horrible because it's more of like a spoken word thing of like, fuck, we've been here for 6 months and nothing has gone on.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention that after they get the after
Radio.
they get the radio station, we have a classic anime twist of a time jump.
Yeah. with the transition guys just singing 6 months later.
6 months later,
Yeah.
and no one's listening.
Yeah, right. Also in this track I wrote down so I wrote down that there was sorry.
Wait, I'm sorry to cut you off. But I remember when I first started listening to the intro of this. You know what it reminded me of?
What?
The world is changing.
Oh my god.
The planet's heating up.
Good lord.
And I was like, I hate that I'm making that comparison.
I know, dude. I was about to say, like, throughout the track, I was actually, I wrote down Pink Floyd vibes, which, a little bit. I
can see that.
it's kind of a spacey guitars, and, it's kind of like, it's emotional in the feels. And then there's, like, a Kenny G solo somewhere in there, which is...
It's a Kenny G solo.
Yeah, I know. That guy rips, like, on an alto sax. It's crazy.
Bro, he's playing his board game in the corner, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then, and that's basically my opinion on the track. But then it goes on to to Ren's greatest idea, which was like, oh, the range of this thing only reaches barely across the freeway. And then they were just
like 1,000-something centimeters.
Yeah, not very far at all. And then they realize, or Ren makes the realization, holy fuck, we could bring this shit on the road and travel across the country just fucking playing our shit on the radio.
Right.
And they're just like, holy shit. And then that goes into track number 5, Out on the Road. Which, Elvis inspired is what I wrote. Which...
Yeah, I can hear that, yeah.
I think there's a track later that I think is like, oh, that's way more Elvis and like, that kind of music, but kinda.
Again, the instrumentation is good. It's just
the singing and the lyrics are terrible.
Not the best at all. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Again, like Stimpy's passable.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like like Stimpy's like voice in singing doesn't make me like be like, oh god, why?
Yeah, right. So I also wrote, because they talk about like driving across the country and going to all these places. First of all, there's a Wisconsin shout out.
These motherfuckers talk about Wisconsin before they talk about the fucking state with Chicago, Illinois, the third biggest fucking city in America.
We got cheese. Go fuck yourselves.
God damn it.
And I wrote this down. I vaguely remember it because it was early in the morning. I wrote down Ren makes a Howard Stern reference, which I'm realizing now, Howard Stern, I don't think came out for a little while. Like, 95, I think, was before Howard Stern, but I think they made a joke about New York, and I thought it was like some reference of like controlling the radio in New York, and I was like, that sounds like a Howard Stern thing. But I honestly don't know. You should Google it, but I don't think that show came out until the 2000s. I don't think. Unless it did.
I do remember, while I look this up, I passingly made a reference to Howard Stern to my dad, and he went on a whole rant about how Howard Stern stole his whole entire shtick from some radio host from Chicago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, okay, let me look this up.
Yeah, sure.
When was Howard Stern on radio? Oh, yeah. You're wrong.
Yeah, I'm way wrong.
Howard Stern Show is an American radio show hosted by Howard Stern that gained worldwide recognition when he... Whatever. Between 1986 and 2005.
What? No, it's still going.
Oh. No, on WXRK in New York.
Okay. Well, because
so it changed to like, what is it on XM?
It's on Sirius XM. It's a subscription.
Sirius XM, right? Yeah.
Now, okay, so does that mean that reference was real? Because it sounds like
be surprised.
That would be really funny if that's like here's the thing. Most people don't even know about Howard Stern anymore for the most part. Like, I ask some people about Howard Stern. People are like, oh yeah, I heard like my dad listening to it or something. Like, that's a deep cut, okay? Like, who the fuck makes a reference about Howard Stern? But it's the 90s, so I'm sort of like, well, I don't know.
Ren and Stimpy in the 90s. That's who makes a reference to Howard Stern.
It's fucking crazy.
Also, like, most people... Excuse me. Most people, when you think of, like, Howard Stern today, think of him as, like, oh, the
judge on America's...
Yeah, exactly. On the same table as famous TikToker for going viral, Howie Mandel. I'm not making him forget about that.
Prolapsed asshole.
How's Ryan doing, bud? Anyway.
Don't shit out your guts.
Anyway.
And after this, they're like all excited, all hopped up. Yeah, I was going to say, that's a wild tangent. After being all hopped up about going on the road, going everywhere, track 6, Any Freeway You Take, is them... what was the note I wrote down?
It's half them, like, being stuck in traffic, and half them ripping on the American highway infrastructure.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. My first comment to this was, POV, you need to commute for your first job. I was like, yeah, it's pretty accurate, because they're just like, the lines are so long, and they're just like, they're talking about like all these crappy like tollways.
There's another accident.
Yeah, and you gotta fucking physically pay for the tolls instead of like nowadays, because it's all electronic, like you could just drive through.
Right.
But like back in the day, you have to like give them change. What the fuck do you do when you don't have change? Like, I didn't even... It's like one of those things you think about, like, what if I didn't have GPS? Or like, what if I couldn't text my friends? Like, oh fuck, that's a long time ago.
It reminds me of like, you ever seen there's a movie called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
And there's a scene in that it's a fucking awesome movie. Rest in peace. I forget his name, but one of the actors in that festival.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Not the basketball player. He's still alive.
No, like never mind.
No, it's okay. That's all. By the way, the references in that movie are very old.
Yeah,
really old.
But the one thing I think about in that movie, because I watched it with my dad and my brother, and there's a scene where they stay in an inn or a motel or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And they pay for it with a credit card, and instead of swiping it on a machine, they like use like this like printer to like grab the numbers from the card and then print it onto a piece of paper, and that's like mailed to the bank. And my dad like said, yeah, that's how credit cards used to work. And my brother and I looked at him like, really? Wow.
It explains why
my brother is like only like 3 years older than me, so like.
Oh yeah, your brother. Old man.
Not old man. Like,
Yeah, I
him
know.
and I are like, we're not, you know, anyway. But yeah.
Your teeth
like,
are falling out.
That.
Just, well, I mean, it makes you think about like how practical credit cards were back in the day. Like, that's why no one really had them, or it was like a super rich person thing, because it's sort of like, well, yeah, it's a hassle dealing with it.
Well, I mean, there was that, and also like
That's why people wrote checks.
there was also that, and like the Great Depression happened, and like
In the 60s?
oh no, I meant like never mind. I was gonna say like I thought like mindsets of like not trusting the bank carried over to that time.
Oh, yeah, no,
I
they still
realized-
existed.
But then again, I realized they were like
That was 30 years later.
30 years apart or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, I was about to say, I mean, do you still trust banks?
Fair point.
Yeah, right. There you go. But yeah, anyways, track 6. I get Jesus Christ. Track 6, yeah. Not bad, but apparently they caused an accident on the
At the
highway.
end of it, near the end of it, they started doing the radio on the road, and then
That's what it was, yeah.
and then they fucking caused an accident on the highway, and
Yeah.
the cop says like one of the funniest lines in the entire thing, in my opinion, which is, "You guys caused an accident, but unfortunately, there's no laws against trailers, so I'll give you guys a warning this time." And then Stimpy's just like, "No, take us to jail. We did a bad thing."
And it's just like, all right. Just fucking plays along. And that goes into track 7, Hard Time. Which,
Rock the fuck out.
I know. I did write this, which is sort of like, it really got to me, like, this moment really got to me because it was like about halfway through the album. The judge busts out and starts singing, and for me, I wrote, "Goddamn, why should I care?" Because it's like, it feels like such a pointless roadblock. I'm just like, oh my god, why am I here? Like, I'm just like, I'm literally like questioning everything as I'm listening to this track, even though it's pretty good. It's not bad.
It's funny because like you had that reaction, but when I was just thinking, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm here for this shit. Let's go."
Yeah, that's fair.
Then again, I'm an enjoyer of shitty media, so
You ate that shit straight off the painting, bro. But-
again, it's in the middle.
In the middle of the painting.
You can acknowledge the sides,
Yeah.
but there's still the middle.
But yeah, so in this track, they're sentenced to playing 200 hours of country music on their radio station. Which is pretty funny, actually. Even back in the day, they were just like, man, country music fucking sucks.
Man, fuck country music.
I appreciate
All my homies hate country music.
Yeah. All my homies hate country music. So fucking funny. And then in this track, at the end of it, they're like, oh fuck, how are we going to get out of this jam? And they're just like, oh shit, I know who to call on. Powder Toast Man.
And then, okay, I need to preface this.
Yes.
I hear them say powdered toast man,
Yeah.
and I just immediately say, "Oh shit, powdered toast man's in this? That's gonna be cool." And then the next song starts, and it is the most intense guitar or like heroic power ballad guitar I've ever heard in my life. Of like, just like
It's intense, man. It gets into it.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Full disclosure, I think Powdered Toast Man is probably my favorite song on the album.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
because, like,
I'd
it's
say
just
so.
a fucking power ballad of Powdered Toast Man.
oh yeah. The only thing I will say about this, I wrote, I do remember listening to this track and thinking, like, I kind of wish this was more of a theme song for Powdered Toast Man. It just kind of felt like more like a plot song that was sort of like, oh my god, Powdered Toast Man's here, he's going to save the day. I felt like it should have been more of a theme song. I don't know. I feel like they had an opportunity.
I felt like it kind of was a theme song. But
so.
I guess I agree to disagree, I guess.
I like how basically, also how Powdered Toast Man literally annoyed the judge from from giving him the sentence. He gave him too much jargon, and he's just like, "Dear God, you're too annoying. Get the fuck out of my courthouse." And then it's just over. Like, that's the end of the court session.
I also love how Powdered Toast Man shows up, and Stimpy's just like, "Powdered Toast Man, you have to save us." And he's like, "Don't worry, I got this." And then he says, "They should be sent to life in prison. They are." And then he's like, "No, you're supposed to defend us." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like,
he's like, "Oh, right. Sorry."
Yes.
Yeah. So after they got out of their court sentence, they're back on the road, and in order to make money to keep going.
I will say, I did feel this whole, like, prison part, I guess, felt like a filler arc.
That's what I was saying. Like, I was listening to the track with the judge, and I was just like, we can skip over this. Like,
yeah.
Which, I mean, if you want to be honest, you could skip the whole album, because that's, but...
Is this canon to the Ren and Stimpy universe?
I really hope not.
Is this the prequel to Adult Party?
Adult Party. Fucking future Joey. Don't look it up.
Don't no.
Please don't.
Please don't.
Now I will say, still in this track number 8. They get back on the road, and there's this little song. There's this little ditty for Stimpy's hog jowls. And I don't know about you.
I wanted to ask you this. Look,
yes.
Go.
I fucking love this part of the song. This is my,
good.
like, of the album, this is my personal favorite, because it's like, this is Ren and Stimpy, and I fucking love it. It's great.
I wanted to ask this because I am an enjoyer of Ren and Stimpy.
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen many episodes, but I've seen clips.
Yes.
Are hog jowls an actual thing in the show?
No, I don't believe so. But this is in reference to the log by Blammo, if you're aware of the log from the show, which is just this kid's toy, which is a log. Need I explain anything else? That's literally the product. Yeah, exactly. But it's like advertised like a kid's toy, and it's a great joke.
It's a log.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing with hog gels. It's just like advertising these things.
Is Blammo supposed to be like a spoof of like Whammo?
It is. It's exactly that.
That's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. So when this played, I was like, this is the show. And I think it's fucking hilarious. I loved it. Then it goes on to track 9, which is...
In Hollywood.
Yeah, In Hollywood. Which, this is definitely rockabilly, like... Elvis style stuff.
There's a fucking there's fucking banjos in the back.
Yeah, there are.
Not banjos. What's it called? Bongos.
Wow, that's a mix up. Fucking. Weren't you a percussionist?
I just got 4 stocks.
You just got 0 to perfected it. Got him. Bitch. Anyways, track 9. I wrote down.
This has been my life for the past 30 episodes.
I know. Retaliate.
Anyway.
Track 9. I wrote down buying fame, Lamau. Success in LA, Lamau.
Living in California,
Lamau.
Yeah,
no, it's literally what I wrote. I was just like, because I don't remember anything else about the song aside from they're just talking about success and fame, like getting in LA, and I'm just like, that's funny. But
especially coming from a show which I guarantee you was made in like 90s Hollywood Nickelodeon studios.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Or at least his album probably was too. Like,
of course.
Yeah.
Then in this track, they're on their way to Hollywood. They're not in Hollywood, but they're dreaming of it. And on their way, they come across this guy who gets kicked out of his car called Mud Skipper. Which, I wrote, that's what it was. Mud Skipper in the car. So he like gets into the car with Ren and Stimpy in the trailer. And Mud Skipper literally gives advice on track 10, take a walk on the muddy side. It's like actually kind of legit advice for like becoming, like kind of legit advice for becoming successful in Los Angeles, which is sort of like just know people.
Yeah.
And you'll basically be there. And I'm like, God, like I didn't expect this to be like legit.
Dipshit network. Like,
yeah, literally. Like don't just go willy nilly. You got to know people. And it's just sort of like I my notes are more like actual like personal notes. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, why am I? Why is this such a meaningful part of like this album that's like, you know, shit on a not a Warhol, a Pollock.
And it's weird because it's got like jazzy like trumpets and like alternating like I forget what the exact instrument's called, but I call it alternating like cowbell.
Yeah, right.
Like the higher and lower one, and then you just like ding 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 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, right.
Like,
right. So fucking funny.
I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, right. So, after this track and after they drop off Muddy, or Mud Skipper, they realize that they don't have any money because they spend it. What did they spend it on, Joey? Do you remember?
So the story behind that was that. So after the Powdered Toast Man song, Ren and Stimpy decide to pull over and like sleep.
Yeah.
Or something. Or camp out or fuck.
Okay.
And then Ren is like, Stimpy, we need money. And then
that's the whole
he was like,
Hogjowl bit.
And he was like, we need whatever the fuck, clog howls or whatever.
Hogjowls, yeah.
Hogjowls. And they sold a bunch of them, and apparently supposedly got a lot of money. And then at this point, Stimpy reveals, "Oh, I'm sorry, Ren. I gave all that money away through the radio show."
Oh, right, through the giveaways. I forgot about that. Yeah. So that's what they. So that's like so now they're out of money.
And then Ren cuts a shoot promo on Stimpy and says he will beat him at Sacrifice.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's exactly what happens. So
yeah, he's wearing the chainmail and the sunglasses and everything. God, now we gotta draw Ren as both.
God. Yeah, we do.
You gotta draw Ren as Virgil and Scott Steiner.
Oh, I'll find a way to combine the two. Now
I would like. Oh, whatever. Never mind.
So this is the thing: is that on track 10, it's like, oh fuck, now we don't have any money. And Stimpy's like, oh, I guess I'll just make some more Hogjowls. But in this, Ren is like becomes. It's weird because it's like actually kind of a semi-clever bit of like, oh my god, you've turned into the monster that you met in the beginning.
So there's a thing in musicals I like called reprisals, I think, where like it's basically like cinematic. It's like cinematic parallels basically, but in musicals. Like, a character sings like basically the same song, but there's different context behind it.
Yeah, right.
I want to say there's one in like Les Mis, but it slips my mind with it. But Ren basically sings the second song in the album, and I'm like, I thought that was clever because
that's
like
pretty clever.
Like, I mean, granted, he sings it a lot worse because it's Ren singing.
Oh, of course.
Like, for what they were going for, I liked it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was clever, but what's funny is that obviously the fifth caller calls and Ren is just like, "Holy fuck, come over, please!" And then he opens the door.
He does the same thing that.
He does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then
where, like, fifth caller gets the station, somebody calls and he's like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, and then as it turns out, he opens the door and it's fucking Stimpy. And Ren's just like, all right, I fucking take it. I don't care anymore. He just fucking takes it and then leaves. And then Stimpy's like in the trailer like, fuck, I gotta like do this by myself now. I don't want to fucking, this sucks. But then Ren comes back for the Hogjowls because they're his favorite food.
Apparently.
Allegedly. And then
citation needed.
Yeah, quotations. Yeah. What's that link on Wikipedia? Needs further peer review or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But this comes to the final track, Stuck With You, where Ren comes back to Stimpy and he's like, I need you, you need me. I also fucking hate you, but we're the only people for each other. And then it's that song to reunite. Yep. And that's it, basically. Then they just keep driving in the trailer, apparently still on the radio, selling hog jowls.
And this was the third and the last album they made.
Ren and Stimpy.
And
Joey,
the story will never be complete.
forever gone into the night. So, Joey.
Yes.
Given that you've listened to this album, what would you give it on a score from 0 to 10? And you know the Anthony Fantano scale, where there's like there's like a light, decent, and strong in each of the numbers. So it's sort of like, oh, if it's a, like if it's a pretty good album, but it's like between two sets, you could be like strong 7, light 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like that range. What would you give it?
I'd give it a light 6, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Like, there are enjoyable parts to it.
Yeah.
That I did genuinely like.
Mm-hmm.
But there were other parts to it where I was like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I thought the songs from the prison part were good, but
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything in the scope of the plot of this fucking album. And I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
yeah, I agree. I'd give personally, I'd give it a strong 5 to a light 6 personally. Like, for very much the same reasons. Like, there's moments where it oddly kind of slaps, and I'd say it harkens to the show in many of the same ways, but also to its own detriment, because the show isn't exactly like a great storytelling show. It's just kind of zany, off-the-wall stuff, which is what the album is. Yeah, it's dumb shit. So that means that there's funny moments, but it's not, like, innovative in any particular way. It's just kind of a, it's just a story, and it's just kind of a commercial album from a commercial situation. So, not bad, but not great. Decent. Yeah, strong 5 to a light 6. It was enjoyable for the moments it was enjoyable. Because there are definitely some albums like this that are, like, horrendous. Like, they're terrible. Yucky. They're, like almost no redemption value. Like, there's almost no production into the music, and it's just gross.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was our review of Ren and Stimpy Radio Days. Tune in for December, where we apparently review the Christmas album. I had no idea that existed, so...
I gotta see if we can find a rip of it on YouTube, but I know it exists.
Oh, yeah, by the way, if you'd like to listen to this yourself, I don't know why you would, but you could. It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. The album's so old that, like, it's not on, like... Well, I shouldn't say it's so old. It's not on streaming, like...
It predates streaming.
It's not going to be on streaming.
Actually,
I don't think
hold
it will
on.
ever be on stream. It's not.
I'm Googling it.
It might be on Spotify.
I'm Googling it.
Wait. How did we not look this up before we...
I don't know. As far as I can see on my streaming service, Amazon Music, don't ask, I didn't buy it. It's not on there. There's no music from Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah, and I have Apple Music. Again, don't ask. But I like Apple Music. I don't fucking care.
That's fair.
It's not on there.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You could go on eBay and buy the CD, which, Joey...
There's a vinyl.
Even though I didn't particularly love the album, I do want to buy it.
I know you would buy the fuck out of that.
Yeah, I would, because that would be fucking hilarious. Could you imagine hanging that shit on your wall? The Ren and Stimpy album? People are like, oh, what's that? Oh, pain.
Oh,
A 7 a.m, like, listening of it once and talking about it on a podcast.
Oh, it's a visual representation of we're having a stroke recording session.
It's a visual representation of We're Having a Stroke, a podcast where a guy with severe ADHD struggles to get through a single sentence while the other one fucks a Scotch Brite, you know?
Oh my god.
I finally got it right this time. I got it right. Well, yeah. So that was our review. Thank you guys so much for listening.
I guess. There was one thing I wanted to get into.
Yeah, go for it.
That's somewhat serious.
I know. Sorry to bring it down.
No. So.
No.
There was one thing I wanted to get into.
Go for it.
That is serious, and it ticks me off a bit.
Okay.
So, throughout this entire podcast, I mean, this episode, it goes on to other episodes, but
okay,
there is a clear love that we have here for animation.
Yes.
Animation is near and dear to both me and Dominick's heart, to the point where I am proud to say that the thing that got me into filmmaking in general was the promotional intro trailers to Marvel vs. Vanilla Marvel vs. Capcom 3. If you've seen those, you know they are breathtaking, they are amazing, and like their editing is amazing.
Yeah.
I love those things to death. Animation is an important thing in both Hollywood and the creative workspace in general.
Yes.
This recently has been under fire because I don't know if you've heard this, but Warner Media Discovery has decided to take off over 20 or over 30 pieces of animated content from HBO Max. On top of that, also over 200 classic episodes of Sesame Street. Two of those shows they took off were Infinity Train and OKKO. And also Close Enough, which I find baffling.
What?
Yes.
Isn't Warner Brothers kind of founded on animation?
Yep.
What?
It's baffling to me that these...
Yeah, Sesame Street is like kind of integral to like American culture nowadays. Like, they got rid of it.
Also, you know what? There was an Elmo show called Late Night, Not So Late Night with Elmo. It was like a nighttime talk show host with Elmo, which I thought was kind of cute. They took that off too.
That's fucking bullshit.
Yeah. So, and the backlash from multiple different animators online has been like heartbreaking, to the point where there was an animator, I forget his name, but it was just a tweet of him just saying, "It's all gone. I mean, I can pirate it, but I made this for my kids, and now they can't see it."
Yeah.
It is baffling, and it is messed up. It's too long. Fucking long. And granted, I am not an animator. I am not an animator. I am an editor. I am seeking to be an editor in the world of filmmaking. Even that. An editor in the world. I seek to edit either real life footage or animation. I don't know yet. But the fact remains that not enough people are talking about this. You know, time's a funny thing. Hi, Future Joey here. So basically, I go on a rant for like 3 minutes that I got way too heated about, and I'm not exactly comfortable putting that out there. So to summarize it, I think that animators need more attention and deserve more from the industry. And that's been backlashed at by multiple people on the internet. But yeah, just wanted to come in here and say that there's a funny little cut at the end of this. And yeah.
Thank you for listening to We're Having a Stroke, and we just had a stroke. Woo! No. I agree.
Going into this like entire section, I was like, I am going to cut a pro wrestling promo on like that shit, because it Like,
yeah, no,
it ticks me off.
I don't blame you. It annoys the shit out of me too. But
It's like, oh my god,
what can you do?
this is gonna be fun to look back on.
Yeah, it is.
I will stand by that statement any week of the day.
Oh, of course, and me too as well. For my own reasons, I will say that, like, personally, yeah, like, I don't know about you, but animation is part of the reason why I currently pursue the career that I have now. Even though if it's not related, I still think the fact of storytelling through animation is one of the most powerful mediums that we have, and especially like with even things that aren't exactly animation, like Sesame Street with its puppeteering. Like, I think personally that the fact that you have shows like that are like basically like almost American institutions that are just ripped away from like your
you want to know the
standard
baffling
streaming
part?
services. Yeah.
You want to know the baffling part?
What?
It was done without warning today.
Yeah, that's rough.
Just done. It's off.
Now,
Today.
I wonder if that's for a monetary reason or if there was just some guy that's had it out for animation.
Okay. Also, here's the baffling part about all this that makes it worse. And I know we're going a bit over, but I don't care.
Yeah.
The baffling part about all of this is that because of the current climate of animation, and not even animation, of content in general in the entertainment world, there are not DVDs of any of these shows.
This is the
of them.
This is the thing about this is like the big thing about like switching to the internet, which this is like a whole like philosophical thing, but I'd say personally this is like why having physical media is so important, is like, well, yeah, what if it's removed from the internet? Like, even though it's never truly removed, like, it can just as easily be removed from your hands in a second, whereas owning the DVD is like, it's not going away.
It.
You have it.
Like,
that's the thing. Like, when we talk about going all digital or all digital, all on the internet, I mean, this was something I was talking with my like design friends about. We were like, it's nice, it's pleasant for the moment, but like, what happens when it goes away? Like, what do you do? There's nothing left.
Yeah, because, like, let's be honest with ourselves. As much as we don't want to think about it, there might be a day when a server goes offline and it doesn't come back up.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
It happens a lot, actually.
And, like, it's like, yes, it's good to have it for, like, reasonability, like, for consumers for some part.
Yeah.
But, like, the fact of the matter remains, like, I wanted to watch that show and I couldn't, so I had to watch it from someone who just dumped the thing on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
And like that.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Thanks, Gus.
But like, it's like, I don't think anyone should fucking want their piece of media to be seen, like an entire like pilot of an episode to only reasonably be seen through just Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, that's not okay. Like,
yeah, especially when it's this like really hard working, like a lot of time and money spent into it. Suddenly, like, all of the profit's gone. It's like, well, all right, the only way you can watch it now is like through bits and pieces on social media. Like, that's just not even like a respect for the art form that they've put so much time and effort into. Like, that's fucked up. Imagine if you could, like, no, here, think of it this way. Imagine if you could only see a work of art through through like someone's Instagram profile, but not just a picture of it. It's like if the user profile had like the tiling thing that was trendy for a while, where it's like a grid of like 3 images by whatever. That's like this series of images. Imagine if a painting was presented like that. Like, it was only presented in quadrants on this Instagram profile. Like, that's like the shittiest way I could imagine seeing any image. But it's like
it's the same thing.
Maybe if that's the only way to see it, like, that's fucked up.
It's the same thing kind of with like seeing a digital like iPhone picture of the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
or seeing the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah, you technically saw it, but like
the experience of it is so much more.
Just, I don't know. Just,
I can guarantee you can see this work of art and this piece of media on YouTube.com currently. And I can tell you, folks, I hear an ambulance in the distance because my ears are bleeding. And we've just had a stroke. Woo! Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like what you heard, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell. Share this with a friend or an enemy. Maybe share this with a Warner Brothers executive so they could fucking, like, maybe do something.
That actually benefits animators.
Yeah, that, like, benefits artists that, you know, like, do stuff.
Or already, like, overworked as hell.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been We're Having a Stroke. My name is Joey. My co-host is Dominic. And we will see you guys around.
Love you guys.
Love you.